Welcome to today's deep dive. You walk into a sprawling restaurant, right? The ambient lighting is perfect, the music is at the exact right volume, and, you never see the massive rack of blinking servers and amplifiers running the show.
Right, it's all hidden.
Exactly, you just see a little black panel on the wall. So our mission today is to decode a really specific technical document. We are looking at a product page from HDTVSupply for the QSC MP-MFC Wall-Mount Controller to figure out how this $375 plate acts as the ultimate gatekeeper between incredibly complex audio networks and, well, the everyday user.
It really is the perfect case study in commercial infrastructure.
Yeah.
Because, when you look at that panel, it completely blends into the architecture.
Oh, totally.
It's invisible until you need it. And that aesthetic is totally intentional.
Okay, let's unpack this because physically there is almost nothing to it. It controls QSC's MP-M Series music and paging mixers, which are these heavy-duty pieces of hardware. But the wall plate itself, 3 buttons: increment, decrement, and select. And combined with a tiny, I think it's like a 27 by 26 millimeter monochrome graphic display, it really reminds me of an old school iPod interface.
Oh, that's a great comparison.
Right. It's hiding all that massive back-end complexity behind a completely idiot-proof front end.
What's fascinating here is that to really appreciate that simplicity, you have to look at what the plate is actually communicating with in the back room.
The heavy-duty stuff.
Exactly. You mentioned paging mixers. In a large commercial space, audio management revolves around a routing matrix.
Yeah.
Think of a matrix as a massive invisible grid.
Okay.
On one side, you have your input, so the ambient Spotify playlist, the live feed from the sports game on the TV, or the paging microphone at the host stand.
And on the other side, you have the output zones, like the dining room, the patio, the restrooms.
Right. The matrix is the digital brain deciding which input goes to which output and at what volume.
Navigating a routing matrix usually requires a pretty deep understanding of signal flow. If you are managing the floor during a dinner rush, you do not have time to figure out cross points and gain structures.
Exactly. So the wall plate acts as a translator. It allows a restaurant manager or a retail worker to execute basic, necessary interactions without needing an engineering degree.
Yeah.
They can change a zone's audio source or tweak the volume, and they can do it because the wall plate isn't processing any audio itself.
It's just a remote.
Essentially, yeah. It's a terminal sending a simple string of digital commands back to the mixer's processor. The user doesn't need to understand the matrix, they just hit the select button.
So if the plate is just a terminal firing off command signals to the main mixer, how does the system scale without breaking down? Because commercial spaces are huge, so you're obviously not just installing one of these plates.
The networking specs handle the scale brilliantly. You wire these controllers up using standard CT5 cable. But here is the crucial distinction that CT5 isn't carrying analog audio.
Because if it were, running it hundreds of meters would introduce terrible static.
Terrible signal degradation, yeah. Instead, the cable is strictly providing power over Ethernet to light up the display and carrying digital data packets.
Right.
Because it's just data, you can daisy chain up to 4 controllers together on a single cable run spanning up to 250 meters.
Wow.
And in total, you can attach 8 separate controllers to a single mixer.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, because I have to push back on the logic there.
Okay, go for it.
If you have 8 controllers scattered across a building, won't users just fight over the volume like kids fighting over the car radio? Say the bartender cranks the patio music all the way up, but 10 seconds later, the server at the wait station turns it down. Does the central mixer just blindly execute whatever data packet it receives last?
It sounds like it would be chaos, right?
Yeah, inviting employees to wage a turf war over the volume.
It would be a nightmare. But the source highlights a critical line about how system designers prevent exactly that. During installation, they configure the peripherals to give end users, and this is a direct quote, as much or as little control over the system as needed.
Meaning the system designer programs the permissions into the controller itself before the staff ever touches it.
Precisely. You aren't giving everyone the keys to the audio kingdom. The controller behind the bar is digitally locked to a specific permission profile. It might only be authorized to adjust the patio volume.
Right.
And even then, the designer can cap the maximum gain. So the bartender literally cannot blow the speakers, no matter how many times they hit the increment button.
Or they could use the interface to trigger a preset audio scene. Like the host stand might have a button to trigger the happy hour scene.
Exactly. Hitting that one button sends a macro command to the matrix that automatically lowers the TV volume, raises the music, and routes the paging mic to all zones. But the host can't actually manipulate those individual variables.
You're just giving them the illusion of control.
Yes, the illusion of control within very strict parameters.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Ultimately, reliable tech, which, by the way, is backed by a 6-year warranty upon registration, it succeeds by marrying high-level power with strictly curated user access.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the absolute best technology eliminates user error by design. It doesn't waste time teaching the user how to avoid breaking the system. It just makes it functionally impossible for them to do so.
It's brilliant. Next time you effortlessly adjust the music volume in a public space, ask yourself, are you really in control of the system, or did the audio designer just build a digital sandbox perfectly sized so you couldn't break anything?